Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. Today we're going to be talking about why whales are loving Cardano, and we're going to dive into some article content here right after this quick disclaimer.
If it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Cardano, and we're going to be talking about Cardano probably quite a bit over the course of this week because there's the on-chain metrics, the data that's coming in, what's being shown is, well, I don't know. Is Cardano basically just absorbing all of the refugees of FTX-related downfall? It sure seems to be the case. How many of the Solana users are basically abandoning ship and jumping into the Cardano bandwagon? Will they still be running around with bots, but maybe in a different tone of voice? I don't know, but let's take a quick look at some of this content here. Today, Cardano sees sudden interest from whales. Here's why. There are a lot of reasons. According to Whale Stats, Cardano's ADA ranks among the top 10 purchased assets for the 100 biggest BSC whales in the last 24 hours. Sweet, sweet music. Aside from this, Cardano is experiencing increased on-chain activity with a 400% rise in new Cardano wallet addresses since the FTX crisis. Come on, folks. Come on in. The ship is big enough for us all. Is Cardano becoming the new Noah's Ark for crypto refugees of lesser projects? When do we start seeing that narrative start to play out in the mass media like we have the opposite for so long? And why do you think we've seen such a negative narrative around Cardano for so long? When you find out the depth of the FTX infrastructure, their inner circle, their relationships, who was likely pulling the strings associated with FTX and what was basically 10% of the global GDP. Why do you think Cardano wasn't involved in that narrative? And now that we're seeing it all come crumbling down, or is it? Was it supposed to come crumbling down this way? Or was it a little too soon? Was it, what, there's so many questions still left unanswered as it relates to FTX and who was involved and why. I know I saw the examples of the World Economic Forum, and the FTX partnership page was recently pulled down, but you could go visit that on Wayback Machine. So like you can't get rid of that. So maybe they can at some point. I don't know, but you can go look that up yourself. The rabbit hole, it just runs so much deeper than I think we still even know today. And I don't know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm realizing that Sam Bankman-Fried may have been like the Lee Harvey Oswald of this whole thing. Basically, powerful puppeteers basically saying, hey, we're going to give you control of all this. We're going to put you in a lavish property in the Bahamas, invite your friends, let's have fun, but we'll handle the rest. I don't know. But I know it's not working out for anybody. Cardano remains relatively untouched in the midst of what some refer to as the industry's biggest crisis in years, the FTX collapse. According to Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson, the damage FTX caused will cascade down, greatly affecting other crypto firms. He expressed his joy, however, that Cardano has not been mentioned at all. Yeah, go figure. I wonder why. Probably because of the true decentralized nature of Cardano, and how can you control something that's this decentralized? That's kind of the point. Taking the reins of finance to as much a degree as possible out of the hands of those who might otherwise control it for a greedier or more sinister outcome, as we're now recognizing. And so many of us who have been talking against this crap are now basically being proven as accurate once again. When are people going to start wisening up? You chase the tech, you chase the use case, you chase the fundamentals. You don't chase APY or pump and dump projects that grow exponentially overnight into massive gains, because typically there is an artificial component to that kind of growth. And I don't mean just like the entire crypto market's going up, money's coming into the space and people are picking their bets. I don't necessarily mean that, because that's a global thing. That's what happens generally to any project that is even seemingly worth its grain of salt in a bull peak or parabolic run. That's just what happens. I'm talking about projects that grow so drastically, so dramatically, with literally no tech merit whatsoever. That's what I'm talking about. Cardano-focused Twitter account ADA Whale praises Cardano's stance in the current crisis. An almost dogmatic focus on security, decentralization, science, fair distribution, and doing everything on chain is as close as crypto will get to self-regulation. The Cardano community is a pretty bullshit-free zone, aren't we, though? Yeah, they must watch my channel. And we invite all other well-meaning groups to team up with us. At the time of publication, Cardano is trading at 0.033 cents. No, that's not accurate. Up 33 cents. They added a zero there. That's incorrect. But up 1.77% in the last 24 hours. Sunday Swap reassures users. Cardano DEX Sunday Swap has reassured its users in light of recent events in the blockchain financial landscape. It says that Sunday Swap as an entity remains unaffected and well positioned for the future growth of DeFi on Cardano. That may sound good, but I'm still weary. I'm still weary of any DeFi application on blockchain, period, because I'm telling you, regulation is going to start giving a swift kick in the tail of a lot of these things. But, you know, hopefully I'm wrong about some of the it's the DeFi applications that have been blossomed from anonymous teams in the name of decentralization. That stuff doesn't bode well with me. You can launch a DeFi application and not be a bunch of ghosts behind the scenes. That's what always creeps me out. So, you know, maybe some of these more transparent teams that are putting out legitimate applications maybe they find themselves better positioned than the rest when it comes time for a lot of this regulation to start kicking doors in. But we'll see. Alameda Research was a seed investor in Sunday Swap Labs dating back to 2021. It stated in a tweet, "The bankruptcy filing may result in Alameda's interest being sold, but that will not at all affect the continued operation and growth of Sunday Swap Labs." It continued. The only question I have here is, what is the relationship behind the scenes? What is the relationship related from Sunday Swap to Alameda Research? Because it seems like Alameda put money into projects where they were basically doing a lot of nefarious things from what I'm seeing. So how will that ultimately affect Sunday Swap? What is the actual relationship there? You know, I don't know. Maybe it'd even be worth me having somebody from Sunday Swap, some of the, you know, the CEO or the CTO, whatever, both of them, all of them, have them on an interview and let's discuss this, because I'd be curious to know. And, you know, if the relationship appears to be legitimate and fair and all of that, then cool, more power to you. But, you know, I guess some of that is going to unfold as we move forward. Sunday Swap reveals its financial viability and further added that Alameda has no control over the lab's assets. As a US-based company, Sunday Swap Labs has never had access to FTX and therefore was completely unaffected by the FTX and Alameda liquidity crisis. So there you go. And you know what? That's fine. And, you know, the idea that they're basically a US-based operation makes me feel a little bit better, because I know, you know, what happens with a lot of these crypto projects is they all go overseas to try and evade or avoid any of the regulatory regulations, the requirements, compliance. Compliance is a pain. I know this just from my short stint in trying to operate some Bitcoin ATM machines. It is crippling, I mean, to some degree, because the amount of work that has to go into maintaining compliance and the money that you have to pump into maintaining all of this stuff. for small operations, it's crippling. I mean, it really is. But at the same time, that's also why a lot of the big conglomerate businesses and corporations and finance maintain their positions, because they know how this stuff works. They have the funds to allocate properly to get things done in the space and be able to push profits. And that's why we don't see many small time operations popping up and then finding success. So, this is just another example as to hey, Cardano has basically become like Noah's Ark to a lot of refugees in the space. And I love it. And this is all the more reason why I've said time and time again that at some point, right now, Cardano is surging in on-chain activity, new wallets, new holders, new investors, new people that are getting into the space, as well as people that have been burned on some of these other projects, but they haven't lost sight of cryptocurrency or the nature of the technology or this era of disruption that we're in. They're just starting to realize, oh, wait a minute. It is more about the tech, because if you don't have the tech, all you have is narrative, and narrative can change overnight. And so, and everybody's realizing Cardano's narrative has been an organically constructed narrative built on the successes and milestones of multiple development teams, hundreds of engineers over the years. Charles may be the face of a lot of it. And Charles is obviously a brilliant young man. And I can say that because I'm like way older than Charles, even though a lot of people think otherwise. Charles looks like he's 50. I don't know why. He just looks way older than he is. He's in his freaking 30s, people. He's a brilliant young cat. And, I don't know what to tell anybody. I didn't buy into, and I haven't been into Cardano because of Charles. Charles is a voice for Cardano. Charles likes to get out there and do his AMAs and kind of get into the thick of shit. And that's fine by me. Then he likes to go after the trolls and the haters, and he likes to be a smartass sometimes. I don't blame him one bit. But I'm into Cardano because of that white paper. I'm into Cardano because of the papers that I read as early as 2017, and I could see the vision, and I could see what they were trying to build and what they were originally working on, which is why so much of the FUD and the crap that I've seen since then has bounced off of me. Because if you actually sit and you start reading some of this stuff, you realize what kinds of minds are involved in this project. It's not going anywhere. And the minds and the money and the capital that is available to these development teams and IOHK and Emergo and Cardano Foundation, this is going to, I still believe this is absolutely going to overtake Ethereum, because the ETH 2.0 merge, I don't think did Ethereum any favors. When you're talking about Ethereum and having to lock your Ethereum up into the smart contract for like a year minimum for a very small yield overall, not to mention some of the well, let's just say censorship capabilities associated with ETH 2.0, and just the overall way that blockchain is starting to work now. I think Cardano is truly where it's at. And to this day, it's been 5 years and I'm still very much married to Cardano. It hasn't done me wrong yet. It hasn't done any of its investors wrong yet. And when you take out all of the bullshit about, this article or that article writing, oh, Cardano's down by so much %, investors are hurt and burned, and it's all bogus. And anybody that's been in crypto for more than 2 weeks knows the entire market is in a bear market. The entire world is in a financial economic crisis. There's so much going on. But what is one of the common denominators that we have been seeing as it relates to the downfall of the economies on a global scale? 3 letters come to mind, and if you don't know what they are yet, your eyes have still not been opened. There are 3 letters associated with the way that the entire world is changing and taking a giant, massive, heaping pile of